Thank you, Rajat, for that emotional and strong words. I'm going to tell you today about a person, an unsung hero. First, I want to tell you about who we were. We are an ancient culture with the sole purpose of bathing in the scriptures and to take nourishment from the shlokas, to dream in philosophies of Shaivism, the harbingers of knowledge. That is who Kashmiri Hindu was. In 19th January, it changed. 1990, overnight, we became hunted, persecuted, easy targets of cowards. We were just 1 to 2% of the population. We never raised our voices. What did we do to them? The only crime being a Hindu. Those of us who have memories of that time, we always relate to that event with our life throughout our future too. Just like 9/11, everybody remembers 9/11, where he was, what he was doing. So a lot of people here spoke about it. So it was a long time coming. I was in high school. Earlier on, we would get insults in windows about our gods, make fun of our lingam and all that stuff, make fun of our women. But then suddenly something changed. I was in 9th, 10th grade. Those jokes stopped. And there was silence. And I could see in their eyes the same feeling that a lamb gets when the butcher comes towards him. I could see the death in their eyes. I could see that silence. They had stopped making fun of us. And I told my dad, he was of that generation, he was a very compassionate and good human being. He said, no, they don't hurt flies. And that was true at that time. You know, it was truly heaven on earth. There were no rapes, there were no murders. In winters, nobody died from cold. There was no homelessness. In summers, there were more Europeans there than natives. So much prosperity. There was so much prosperity that there were jokes on lethargy. And you would enter a shop in winter, in a corner on the stairs, there used to be a guy sitting in Ferran with his kangri or the fire pot. And he would simply not get up or say anything. He would just say, what do you want? And you would say, oh, I want this. He would just point to his nose, not even taking out his hand, and just say, look, go there, take it from there. And then leave the money and close the door. Why I'm telling you this is that they were a prosperous race, along with us. So, today I'm going to tell you a little bit about an unsung hero who did a lot of stuff, but probably nobody really knows about him. His name was Krishnan Kumar Kaul. He was a colonel in army. At the time of 1990, he was a veteran. He had already joined, he was already in the armed forces, and his first job was in 1965 when he left his cozy training in Baroda as an engineer and joined armed forces. As a young lieutenant, he fought in the Sialkot War and in Indo-Pak War of 1971. You know, we all sit here and talk about violence and all, but we really don't know what is violence except for the people who have experienced it. Those who have faced the brunt of it. A lot of us here have families, and if you look in the eyes of people who have really been there, they're the true ones who truly know what violence is. You know, he was very peace-loving, compassionate. He kind of didn't want to talk about wars and enemies and fires because he had seen it all. And then, not expecting what happened in 1990, he was shocked. He was on the edge of his retirement. So he decided, like a true hero, he stopped his retirement, he took an extension in his retirement, and went into what is called anti-terrorist operations. So we were moved to Badaimbag, cantonment area, which was safe, relatively safe. So since he was involved in these terrorist activities, he would leave in the cover of the night, and we didn't even know whether we'll see him in the morning. Over a year or so, he did a lot of job. He was a local, he knew everything, and he was very, very instrumental in catching kookaburra. And this was not highlighted, of course, because you can't tell all these things. There was secrecy around it. Now, so sometimes I had to train myself in weapons. He taught me how to shoot, how to fire. We had weapons in the house at different locations. So because he was on the terrorist hit list, on #2 hit list. So I had to make sure that, when he's out, I'm the second in line, I'm the elder son. So if they come and attack us, we have to be ready to fight and kill them. Well, that's what the plan was at that point. And he kept doing this for almost 5 years. He would seek out Hindus who had left their belongings in hurry, as you heard the stories today. He would then cordon off that area with armed forces and let the poor people salvage their dignity back by letting them come and pick up their pictures of their loving ones which they had left, to pick up their belongings, their heirlooms, which is all that was left, to tell them that they are Kashmiris and they belong to Kashmir, as the land was just a land of dreams now, which is still. So all this he did, and there is something that stood out about him which may sound a little strange. He not only helped our community in every possible way, he also reached out to the Kashmiri Muslims. He extended the hand to people who were caught between the army and the terrorists who were maybe were innocent, and would help them come out. The thing about today is that, he was awarded some medals. He got nominated for Vishwas Seva Medal, Service in Kashmir, and he truly was the soil of Merged Kashmir. Thank you. Now, I'm going to relate a kind of sad, a very tough story which I witnessed myself. I was not very sure whether I should tell this here because it's hard for me and it's hard for the people to listen. But I'll explain this as softly as I can. So one day, somewhere in 92, 93, I was visiting my family. I was studying outside. They would kill me if I would stop studying Kashmir. So I came to visit my family, and my dad said, come with me. I said, where are we going? He said, no, you need to see this. I said, okay. So when we walked, he took me to the army hospital. And in the army hospital, he took me straight to the intensive care unit. And in the unit was a lady lying who was in septic shock. Her pressure was low, and her blood pressure was down. And she looked pretty miserable and almost terminal. And then when she was there, he talked to her. And he told me, listen, what is she? He told me her name. This is my biggest tragedy. And maybe I blocked it because of the trauma that happened after that, what she told. I don't remember her name. In 2016, I went back to Kashmir. I tried to find the name in the army hospital records. I could not find her name, and that's the biggest tragedy I have about this story. But I keep telling this story to everybody so people remember her, even if she may not have a name. So she said that she was a wife of a professor who used to teach a lot of Muslim students. One day, during this period, he suddenly disappeared and didn't come home. Then, in the evening after like 2 days when nothing was heard, a 16-year-old kid who used to study there in his group, they used to have tuitions at that time, he came up with an AK-47. And he stood in front of her and told her that we have killed Panditji. That was not enough for her, for that 16-year-old kid. Then he took a knife and cut her breasts, left her there. She begged him. She begged him and told him, shoot me in the head so I can die peacefully. But he did not do that. You know where he shot her? He shot her in the groin. And then she was lying there for about 24 hours, and then somebody picked her up, brought her to the army hospital. These were her last words of her story. And the next day she died. Please remember her. Remember her as that lady without a name, which each one of us should have in our hearts. When we remember that Kashmir is ours, we will go to Anantnag. We will always go to Anantnag. We will call it Anantnag. Yes. It is not Islamabad. Yes. 2016, I went there and I boldly said Anantnag. We will raise our generations who will remember this and get back our land. Today, tomorrow, or in another 100 years, but we will get it back.